March is here, and while spring has not yet sprung, there's a bountiful harvest of games on tap to give you some flowers before those April showers. It's another solid month of releases, and we're here to pluck out the real winners of the crop that are worth your time and money. Be sure to peep those hype ratings from both sifted editorial and our users. Let's go! Don't be afraid of this driving franchise you've never heard of. Expeditions, a Mud Runner game, is actually a sequel to the best technical driving simulation ever made. While you won't be barreling through mud bogs at breakneck speed or drawing lines around hairpin turns, this more thoughtful take on the driving genre makes every foot of headway matter as you navigate rough terrain with even tougher vehicles and a hauling winch. In the right hands, this franchise is extremely addicting. There's a little development studio in Japan called Vanillaware that doesn't release a ton of games, but each one is worth paying attention to. Its latest masterstroke is Unicorn Overlord. It's a turn-based strategy game where you never really get a turn because the combat skirmishes are automatic and based on things you did before the actual stabby started. Coupled with a compelling narrative of a prince seeking revenge for his mother the queen's death, some truly unique and killer visuals, and a more laid-back approach to the genre, it has the makings of something special. 2K's wrestling franchise has been up and down over the last decade, but with last year's game being developed in-house at Visual Concepts, it suddenly has an air of competency about it. The developer returns for WWE 2K24, hoping to build on the foundation it already established while banking on the nostalgia that a lot of fans have for the old WWF days with its Showcase of the Immortals mode. It also includes 2 separate storylines for the My Rise career mode. It looks full-featured this time around. Now hopefully, the action inside the squared circle will make for the ultimate tag team. If you're a fan of licensed baseball simulations, there's only one game in town, and that's MLB The Show 24. Once a PlayStation exclusive, this excellent hardball franchise is now an annual release on Nintendo and Xbox consoles. It's a rare case of a lack of competition actually making things better for everyone. Its excellent handling of the Negro Leagues continues with an expanded mode, while pitching and animation have been overhauled. It also looks like this might be the final season on PS4 and Xbox One, so if you own those consoles, there's extra incentive to swipe your credit card across home plate. When you ask people which franchise started the survival horror genre, most will point to Resident Evil, but that's simply not true. Alone in the Dark was the first game to use limited ammo, fixed camera angles, and all that other stuff that Resident Evil is known for. The franchise has had a tough time scaring up sales in the past, but this reboot is banking on popular actors from shows like Stranger Things to send horror fans running to their consoles. The plot follows a pair of investigators as they check out a haunted mansion in search of a missing uncle, and you should search for reviews before pulling the trigger on this one. Horizon Forbidden West is one of the best-selling PlayStation exclusives over the last few years. It's a gigantic, open-world opus with bleeding-edge presentation and a long, engrossing campaign. Once upon a time, it would have been crazy to expect a game like this to launch for PC, but the times are a-changin'. And so here comes the complete edition for PC that includes the base game, its lone story DLC called Burning Shores, and tons of PC-centric options like an unlocked frame rate and customizable graphics settings. It could be the definitive version of an already excellent game, but PlayStation ports to PC do have a spotty history. If you've already completed Aloy's Saga and you're looking for a new action RPG to play, enter Dragon's Dogma 2 from Capcom. This sequel has been well over a decade in the making and is an answer to years and years of fan requests. This one's a little different though. While it does have a fantasy setting like a lot of RPGs, it features a completely unique gameplay element called pawns. These little helpers follow you throughout the game and in the right hands can be a game-changing asset. It also has a Shadow of the Colossus angle as you can scale and topple massive beasts. There's no other RPG franchise quite like it. It's been 19 years since Mario's main squeeze starred in her own video game, and Princess Peach Showtime does one better, making her the star of a play she's trying to save. It's up to her to stop the evil grape from turning every production into a tragedy. To do it, she must swap in and out of costumes, and use her trusty ribbon to change each set back to its blithe origins. Much like in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, Peach is a butt kicker who's not afraid to take charge, which sends a positive message to the young ones who might play it. While the game does look kind of simple, it also appears to have a lot of variety to keep things fresh. Team Ninja has done a lot of things in its history, including showing how fast and fluid third-person combat can really be with Ninja Gaiden. But one thing it's never done is release an open-world game. That all changes with PlayStation 5 exclusive Rise of the Ronin. Clearly inspired by games like Assassin's Creed, it's set in the late 1800s as you play as a masterless samurai called a Ronin. It's up to you to shape history when ships from the West come pouring into the territory. The choices you make in the narrative literally decide the future of Japan, and Team Ninja's combat is generally top of class. It's a great appetizer while we wait for Ghost of Tsushima 2. South Park isn't quite the pop culture newsmaker and shaker it used to be, but it's still a fun IP filled with memorable characters and questionable subject matter. It's perfect fodder for video games, so it's puzzling why there aren't more. This month we get a rare treat with South Park Snow Day. As you might expect, this cooperative and bloody snowball fighting game takes things to the extreme. Cartman, Stan, Kyle, and Kenny are here to help fight across town in the middle of a massive blizzard as you battle your way through South Park with 3 friends in this tongue-in-cheek third-person shooter. There you have it, the games we recommend in March 2024, but this really is just the beginning. There are so many other great games this month, and you'll find your next favorite at sifted.net, where you tell us the genres, consoles, and content types you like, and we give you a custom feed of content from your favorite publications and YouTubers. If you like what we're doing, head on over to patreon.com/sifted and hook us up with a monthly pledge. We'll see you again in April.